So, do you guys remember what happened the last time?
A month ago?
That's so long ago.
Is it a month ago or is it longer?
I think it was a month.
I just ate and I forgot what I ate.
The Curse of
You had
Strahd.
noodles.
3/8/23. Almost exactly a month. I
Sandra
actually
got to
wrote
play
a
CSI.
lot.
Yes,
What?
that's true. So you guys decided to go to Kresk and attempt. Are shaking his head? What's going on? And you guys decided that you were going to take the situation of Kresk into your own hands and help them elect a new burgomaster. And so you guys, full Prince Ali, fabulous he Ali Ababwa style, cruise around the entire town with a giant elephant and giant like glowing Ramis, like, hello everyone, come, it is a town meeting. And eventually you gathered most of the townsfolk. This town is not that large, like maybe 80 people. So you gathered all the townsfolk and brought them to the circle, the front of the town, really. And you all gave them a really excited speech, and you convinced them that they should elect a new burgomaster. And a woman stepped forward, and her name is Hilden. Her name was Hilden. Her name was Hilden. And she said that she would be willing to take on the challenge of becoming the new town burgomaster. And you guys were like, cool, this seems like a great situation. And then that asshole Pavel chimed in and he was like, a woman. And then I think it was Kane who used suggestion on him to convince him that women are equal and can definitely lead a town. And so now Pavel believes that to his core. So basically the town was like, sure. You saw the abbot came down to check in on what was happening and seemed a little confused. Asked what you guys were doing. You were like, we're electing a town leader. It's going to be Hilden. And he was like, all right, cool. And then he left. And then you guys all felt really good about yourselves and you went to bed. And then the next morning you woke up to Hilden's sister knocking on your door violently, bringing you to her house and showing you that her sister Hilden had died. Now, you guys did find a few things after CSIing Hilden's bedroom, which was you found a little tuft of grayish colored fur. You also found two small holes in the skull, two small, like clean looking holes in the skull, and a little bit of blood, but not much. And when you found her, she looked very like pale and squishy. So
Squishy.
yeah. Now Hilden's sister has basically agreed that like she will assume the place of burgomaster with her family supporting her. But you guys.
It's not how democratic elections work. Should we intervene? Like it's not, we just elected a new monarch apparently.
Yeah, maybe. You guys decided that it must be the abbot who has something to do with this, and you trudged up the windy, jagged hill up to the abbey, and you are now in the courtyard with Otto, Zeigfreck, and you also are with a few of the other mongrel folk who reside there. There's a couple of mongrel folk that you have already met and that you have noticed. There is Marzena, who is tied to the pole and with her bat wings fluttering around. And there is another in the well, who is Micah.
Didn't we talk to him?
I don't know if you talked to him. Maybe you talked to.
I thought we talked to him in the well.
In the recap, it says team suspects that the mongrel folk could be involved, given the tuft of hair / fur found in Hilden, so they make their way to the abbey. Otto leads them to Mishka, who has no matching fangs, but Marzena does have fangs that could fit the bill. 4 foot 5 inch, stringy human, black hair, arms and wings of a bat, cloven right hoof. That's what I typed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we talked to Mishka, who's the well dweller, right?
You didn't talk to Mishka. You only saw him.
No. But
You've seen him.
he didn't match our profile.
He doesn't have fangs, and you guys are. It sounds like you guys are looking for something that has fangs.
Yeah, because that's the one who did it, obviously. DM, you know this. I mean, you should know this.
Yeah. And so as you guys
DM,
are
you would never dream to prolong CSI Kresk, would you?
as you are all in the courtyard, forming your observations and analyses, Otto says, "I'll go get the boss man. Stay here." And he walks off towards the dining area.
That frickin' Abbott? Ugh.
Ramis will roll his eyes and sigh audibly.
Roll them so hard that you can hear it.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Ramis will also approach, like, estimating the length of the flying bat spider woman is like chained to a post.
She's chained to a wooden post. There's like a little latch, and she's got like a 5 foot chain, and the post is sort of like hammered into the ground.
I think Ramis will keep 5 feet away from the point of post, the apex of the post, and go observe this spider woman.
Sure. So you head over to the posts, to this tethering post, and you see, as you approach, she begins to flap her leathery wings, and she takes to the air, but she doesn't get very far before the chains go taut, and she flutters around, and she's screaming, and it all sounds like gibberish and nonsense.
Ugh.
You have gray hairs and fangs.
She has stringy black and gray hair that is hiding a lot of her face, but looks more like human hair. Kind of like if my hair was like really gross and like hiding half my face. And she does have spider mandibles, and teeth that are instead of her human mouth. She does have like arms and wings that are very leathery like a bat, and they're kind of like a brownish gray shade.
Didn't we figure out last time that her fangs were like approximately the correct size and like width apart to make the wounds?
Looking at her mouth and like thinking about what you saw at the scene, like if you were trying to put those together, there's not an immediate dismissal of that.
Okay.
It's not obvious that that's not what happened.
Okay.
Ramis will turn and walk towards the group and kind of in a hushed tone lean in and say, I do not think sussing this out for ourselves will be easy. Perhaps we could come under the guise of seeking the abbot's help to look at what was her name? The deceased? Hilden. Perhaps we could pretend that we would like his assessment of Hilden's body. maybe that will reveal something.
Instead of going around and accusing these people, measuring their mandibles.
Well, perhaps you can stay behind and take care of that for us while we have
Yeah, all right.
the...
Let me measure it. Let me see your face.
As you guys are formulating a plan, the abbot comes out from the entrance and walks towards you. And Cloven is with him as well as Otto. If you remember Cloven, he's the mongrel folk who plays the guitar and drinks a lot. And he's got some bags slung over his shoulders, and he's walking around to hand out feedings to chickens and to some of the mongrel folks. And the abbot approaches and he says, I did not expect to see you again so soon. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Is Remise talking? Who's talking?
Not me.
Mace, you should talk. You're the one with the charisma. Don't let the wizard do it.
I think I have charisma, but he has a negative 20 roll against me because he despises me. Okay.
Is
Remise
that
will
true? Does he despise you?
He was like
He's just kind of a.
questioning him and whatnot, right? The last time,
Yeah.
or not the last time, but like one time before in the past, you were
Remise was just
really
throwing in his
hammering
face a
into
little
him.
bit last time, and he
Yeah.
yelled at Remise because he couldn't handle his shit.
had
Well,
some
maybe he
tune.
knows how to forgive.
Forgive? I don't need forgiveness. I need him to stop being a dick. Okay, Remise will step forward. This all just happened in Remise's mind. Remise will step forward and perform a slight bow, not a graceful one, just like a
He stumbles first.
yeah, yeah. No, that's not what I mean, but yes, probably. And he will say, "Have you heard the tragedy?"
Tragedy.
And then Remise will say it like it's obvious, like Hilden is dead.
The abbot takes in a deep breath. He says, yes.
What? Okay. How does he know? Okay. You have heard then.
I have heard.
Please tell us more.
Well, I may or may not have something to do with that.
Oh, Remise is starting to look furious, and he'll just what?
He takes in a deep breath. He says, It does not bring me pleasure, but Hilden was strong of conviction, and Zandra will be a much better leader to the people.
Because she's not strong of conviction?
Well, she is more gentle. Hilden was forceful. She did not accept input readily.
Murder sounds quite forceful as well, Abbot.
Well, this is the lesser evil and the way to keep peace.
Sounds like double standards to me.
Sounds like you just want to control the person in power.
does not sound much like a fair or just system.
Well, do you
What
believe
if you
fair or
decide
just?
later that you don't like the leader for one reason or another? Are you to kill them justly as well?
Do you feel it to be fair or just to elect a town leader democratically by running around the town for several minutes and asking for folks to choose? I was not
Had-
invited to this event.
We had a majority of folks vote and choose. This was quite fair. Certainly much more fair than murdering someone in cold blood because you disagree with their opinions or conviction level.
Like I said, this is the lesser evil.
Why not tell the town? Why hide up here and make her death a secret?
It
You were
will,
so bold with us. Be bold with them.
it will pass quickly.
What will pass?
Her loss.
This is not how emotions work, I'm afraid to say. The town will remember this. We will make sure they remember this.
Not only that, but we do not live in a world without justice. You must stand for your crimes.
Perhaps that is true, but it feels like you all continue to neglect my intentions.
Your intentions quite clearly were murder, therefore, I don't believe there's much else to discuss.
I will kindly ask you to leave my abbey.
What, and allow the people of Kresk to live under your tyranny?
To live under a gentle and kind leader.
You are speaking of double standard, gentle and kind, and murder, cloak and dagger murder, no less, are two very different things, Abbot. I would expect more of a man such as yourself, who claims to be righteous under the Abbey here. Since when is murder a good thing to do in any situation? If you truly believe that individual would have been a poor substitute for the previous leader, then you should have brought that up when we were all there. You chose not to, and created your own devious machinations in the background. What, are we to just leave as though we have no expectation of you treating these townspeople like that in the future? I highly doubt it.
I have treated these townspeople with all of my care since I arrived here. I have done their bidding. I have healed their children. I have brought their children back from the grave. I attempted to preserve the bloodline, which was the burgomaster bloodline. If I went down to the town and I intervened, they would elect me their leader. I am not trying to be their leader.
Yes, well, I can't speak of what you've done since you've arrived, but I can speak of what you've done since we've arrived. And I must inform you, it is not a very impressive resume. You've brought back a child that turned into a monster, who killed the livestock and others in the town. You flippantly hand-waved that as well. I'm afraid you have become a much greater threat to these townsfolk than any other leader they could put forward. You, I'm afraid, continue not to take responsibility for what you've done, which tells me you lack any moral or ethical compass. We cannot stand for you to simply be here threatening these folks. If you won't stand up for your crimes, the town will force you to, and we will be there to help them.
Yeah.
It appears that all of these problems have begun to happen since you arrived here. You make a good point. I suggest you leave.
What, and
Yes.
leave you to continue to terrorize the town? Perhaps we should bring it up with them. Shall we go for a little visit to the town? Call another meeting? We'll let them know that you casually murdered the person that they elected together, instead of discussing it in a town forum. Do you really believe you will gather their sympathy? I'm afraid not, Abbott. I have no faith that that will happen for you.
Can Remise assess the expressions of the mongrel folk? Like,
They're starting to look angry
like
Oh,
At
no
our-
shit.
at you.
Yeah.
Have they moved
No,
towards us, or
no.
are they all? Do they all have their eyes on us? Our
All of them that
conversation?
are mostly human still. The ones that are more animal than human are still kind of doing their thing.
Hmm.
I will also make a note, and this might be something that you guys just don't remember
Flesh
very
golems?
well. Oh yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah, there's 2 flesh golems that live here as well. No. This is not like a get out of here. No, this is a perception of the town. The townsfolk admire and love the abbot.
except for when Remise convinced them last night that he's not their leader.
And
They
they
don't
don't know
believe
he
their leader.
murdered
Believe
one of their
they're like a
people.
priest. They
Yeah.
see him as their like priest healer, not as the leader, the god.
And they don't know that he murdered somebody last night.
Yeah.
Remise did tell Hilden's sister that Hilden was murdered by the as far as he knows, she bought it. Okay. Yeah, Remise will pipe back up and say, "There is but one course of action. We are not the judge and jury, as you take yourself to be, Abbott. We will tell the town, and we will let them decide what needs to happen."
Agreed. If the
Yeah.
town would like us to leave and for you to stand as the leader, we will walk away. It will not be our place to judge beyond what they desire.
He like waves his hands at you dismissively.
With both hands.
Ah, yes, the respect and decorum I've come to expect of you, Abbott. We'll be taking our leave. Kane turns away.
As
and
you
starts
guys
walking.
are leaving the courtyard and walking out, Otto is like kind of trailing behind you at your heels, and he like pulls up next to Kane. He says, what are you gonna do?"
Do what is right.
We'll tell the town what we learned here. And should they decide that they wish for the abbot to be their leader, who has openly admitted to murder, then it is not our place to impose any further. Perhaps they will get what they want. What do you believe, Otto? Do you believe that that was right?
He like sits down on his haunch and looks up in the air for a second. The abbot, he could have murdered us. It would have been easier. He didn't.
Otto, I don't know why the abbot would have murdered you. He has no reason to do so. Perhaps unless you were to challenge his authority in some capacity, like the town chose to when it elected a leader that was not him.
The abbot does not want to be the leader. He just wants to make people better.
I find it difficult to believe that murdering someone makes them better, or the town for having lost that person. The abbot admitted himself that that was someone of strong conviction. Is that not an admirable trait when the care of many is under your tutelage?
Otto like scratches his head with his hind leg. I'm not sure.
That is a fair answer, Otto. You are at least honest with yourself.
I think Ramis will butt in a little bit and say, Otto, if you and any of your brethren start to feel differently, just let us know. There is a place for you in this world outside of the Abbey as well. With that, Ramis will turn.
That's good.
You hear like from behind you, you hear like a loud whisper. I'm gonna try to do it. Try to do a loud whisper. Take caution with your words. Try.
I couldn't quite hear that.
Take caution with your words, travelers.
Do we recognize the voice?
You have heard this voice before, but like only once.
Is it in our
Ziegfried.
head? Or is it, it's Ziegfried?
She is the one who's like wearing the hood and always kind of like walking in the shadows, and she never speaks.
Yeah, that's weird. Interesting. What was the physical description of Ziegfried? I don't remember what she looks like.
She's fucked up and animally.
Well,
That's
a
true.
given.
She is fucked up and animally. She's got a really great description, actually. She's got the left side of her face and body are all covered in lizard scales. And the right side is covered in tufts of gray wolf fur.
I mean, she might be the one who killed Hilden.
And then she has cat eyes, like a feline.
I have the distinct feeling that if they chose to be aggressive with us, we would probably not stand a chance. And my impression of the town is that in general, I don't think that any of them would love the idea that the abbot chose to murder someone that they chose as their leader because they were leaderless. And as soon as they decide to do something about it, he steps in and murders on their behalf. Like, I don't know. But if they decide that, oh no, that was a good thing to do, we're glad you're here, Abbot, and tell us to kick rocks, we can kick rocks. Kresk isn't that important to us outside of what we've already done. I think we've put a lot of effort in. And we certainly can't win a fight against that abbot and all of his mongrel folk. Those fuckers will tear us up.
You have like an earthquake spell? Can we just collapse the entire abbey around them?
I don't have an earthquake.
What if we just
no.
didn't fight them? What if we just like blew up the abbey?
Just murdered all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like unilaterally acted.
Even Otto.
Yeah. You gotta go.
Oh man.
He was confused. He needed to be decisive. That's the moment.
He's like a
To die.
dog person.
Yeah, exactly. That's why nobody's gonna miss him. Come on.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, let's walk back down the hill and just, say what we gotta say and GTFO.
All right, you guys head back down the hill, back to the town. It's daytime and it's probably like 11 or 12. Like people are bustling around, people are out in their front yards planting some seeds because winter is is like still in the midst, but like we're kind of in a transitional period. So it's crisp and it's cold out. Oh, by the way, did I describe the day out today, you guys? Have I told you what it's like outside?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
I don't think you did.
We have no idea.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Please. Today is cold. It's really foggy. There's a little
What?
bit of misty rain that's sort of drizzling. It kind of doesn't even feel like it's blowing. It kind of feels like the like foggy, misty, wet drizzles are just kind of like hitting you as you walk.
Mhm.
What a
Um,
surprise. It's always sunny in Barovia.
yeah. Not today. And it is gray and overcast.
Does there seem to be any sense of alarm or concern anywhere in the town?
Nothing apparent. People are kind of bustling and out taking care of what they got to do. There doesn't seem to be any alarm. It's actually kind of weird that there isn't any alarm. In a small town like this, if someone like gets killed, especially murdered, like
Especially their burgomaster.
that would usually be a pretty big deal, but people kind of seem like they're not, like no one's really talking about that. Everyone's just kind of going about their day.
And it's foggy out.
It's foggy.
Okay. Should we just go? Should we just fuck it?
I think we definitely tried.
I feel like there's maybe a spell or something over this town.
We put a ton of effort in. We're not getting a whole lot of positive reinforcement for that effort. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Is it obvious that the entire town knows that she's dead?
No, not at all. It's not obvious
Okay.
together.
Hmm.
So
You don't have any idea if Zandra has told anyone or not.
Zandra.
Okay.
Where's Zandra?
She is on the western side of the town. And you guys are coming down from the eastern side from the Abbey.
We'll go to Zandra's house.
Okay. You guys head around the loop to Zandra's house. You pass by some folks who are all working. People don't seem particularly chipper, but they all seem kind of like into their work and what they're doing. And finally, you get to Zandra's. And Zandra and her daughter are both in the front yard, and they're like husking corn.
Can I do like a perception check? How do they look distraught?
Yeah, they both look really somber and distraught.
Okay.
For sure they do. You also notice that there is a small, do you notice? Yeah. I'm gonna say you notice it. There's like a small tuft of like kind of uprooted dirty grass in the backyard. So all these like little cottages, you can kind of see like a little perimeter around them. And you can see behind where they're sitting towards the back of the yard, there's like a fresh mound.
I think Ramis will approach Sandra and say like, we have news, and then like kind of like look at her daughter and then look back at her.
She puts her hand on her daughter's shoulder and like whispers something quiet enough that you can't hear it, and her daughter goes into the house.
Looking at the freshly dug grave, Ramis will look at her and say, we feared correctly. The abbot murdered Hilden.
Why?
do not know how to put this lightly, but he seems to think of you all as his sheep, experiments. You are all nothing to him. He claims to protect you, but he cares not for anyone here.
Why is he helping us then?
He likes the power. He likes you to need him, to feel like you need him, but you do not.
But we do need him.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense. Why her?
You had too strong of a will. And these are not my words, but his, but he thinks of you as malleable, easy. He can make you do what he wants. As you said, you need him. You are admitting what he told us.
You sound just like her. Well, I fear for the rest of my family and for Kresk. But if he feels that I am a suitable leader, then I should take this mantle.
No,
No one else will get hurt.
don't believe that is the case, but
I'm afraid we have very little evidence to suggest that no one else will be hurt. In
What
fact,
is a better plan of action?
I do not have the answers for that question. What I can tell you is what has happened is that the abbot acts unilaterally, regardless of what the town chooses. You may not anger the abbot in your role as its burgomaster, or you may incur his wrath haphazardly along the way. I cannot tell you what it is that trips his curious temper, though I can tell you that your sister did.
I will speak in the shadows of what has happened. It seems as though the abbot is not a fan of those who are strong-willed. Maybe for now, it is better that you leave. You are welcome back to my house, but travel quietly for now.
Best of luck to you. You may reach out to us if you find the need in the future.
She gets up and walks out of her house and goes to the one over and disappears in through the door.
Well, time for us to leave.
Good
Perhaps she's
skedaddle.
planning a coup.
Who on herself?
It'll be slow. But maybe with enough time, we can come back and maybe there'll be some changed minds or discontent that we could use to our advantage.
Planted some seeds here.
Zug, you are an optimist. This town is going straight to hell, and I am very excited to leave it.
All right, so what is that? 2 towns that you're leaving that have gone to shit?
I mean, this town went to shit.
This place is cursed.
Let's
despite-
be honest. Everything was pretty shit before we got here. Like,
That's true.
I don't think we.
It's
I don't
almost
think
like
we did anything to make it worse.
it's almost like there's a curse.
Yeah.
Like there's a curse of, I don't know,
Yeah,
something.
we got it. We got the joke that Josh made.
It's almost like that. All right, you guys make your way out of the town. It is the afternoon. You have fed bellies because Zondra was so kind as to leave you with some food rations before you left. And you head out of the main gates of Kresk and are on the road. Where are you going?
We should head toward the Wizard Wines. That was our other thing we were going to do, right?
To the Wizard of Wines, you say?
Wait,
Wait, why were we going there?
Oh.
thought
It's
we were
been
going-
like 2 months. I could see how we would have trouble remembering.
and before we leave, can Ramis
Yeah.
sow a few more seeds of this to them?
Um,
Who was the sexist man? Who-
Pavel?
Pavel.
You don't know where
Ramis,
he lives.
Ramis will pay Pavel a visit.
You don't know where he lives.
I could probably ask one person and find out where he lives.
Hey, where's Pavel at?
I go up to someone and I say, "Where does Pavel live?"
He says, I am Pavel.
Great. Okay. Pavel.
But this is the guy that you saw. Different guy.
Okay. Sorry, not you, friend. There was a Pavel last night who made himself quite known.
Ah, the other Pavel. Yes. He lives just 4 houses that way.
Ramis will thank him and bow and have 4 houses that way.
Okay, you head over. And you see Pavel, sexist Pavel,
Great.
in his front yard, and he is hacking logs.
Okay. Ramis will approach sexist Pavel hacking logs
Reformed sexist Pavel.
and
You're welcome, by the way.
stand. I mean, Ramis will approach and see if his presence garners any reaction.
Yeah, he immediately looks up at you.
Okay. Ramis will bow and say, "Good
He
day."
like reciprocates your bow to the best of his ability.
Ramis will say, Pavel, it is good to see you again. Do you have a moment?
Suppose?
Ramis will look around. Are there like lots of people in the vicinity?
Not really, no.
There's something you must know as someone who has had an aspiration to lead this town and the wonderful people of it.
He didn't. Just as a
Didn't he want to lead?
no, he was just angry at Hilden.
He nominated himself, so I think like Ramis can say this.
Did he nominate himself?
Yeah, it was between Hilton and Pavel.
I think it was just it's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Wasn't there a vote between those two?
No, I think it was just Hilden and like it was like vote yes to Hilden or no. But
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay, then Ramis would understand that and he would not say that. He would
Yeah.
say, as someone who cares very deeply about this town.
There you go.
Jesus. All right. I thought it was a fucking vote. Okay.
Maybe it was.
There's something you must know. And like Ramis will step closer. I think he'll say Hilden is dead. And then like look for a reaction.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Have you heard the cause of death?
I've not. You know.
I I think it is important that I am not the only one who bears the burden of this knowledge. The abbot killed Hilton.
The abbot.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
Because he seeks to control you. You all elected a leader. He does not like this process. He wants to know and decide who is in control. He did not participate last night. So he killed the person who was elected by the people.
That seems pretty out of character.
I'm rolling persuasion. Fuck this fucking guy. All right. I'm gonna cast Eagle's
Fuck this
Conquer
guy.
from
Seriously.
All right. Let's do this.
Roll a persuasion check for all of the seeds that you are going to plant, because I'm not going to make you repeat this anymore.
Okay. I have advantage on persuasion.
Okay.
So, oh my gosh, that's a 14. Shit.
A bit persuasive.
That's still pretty high, but it's not nearly as high as I could eventually roll.
Not high enough to convince someone of a murder.
Okay. Ruiz says, you know what? Fuck it. And he walks
We
away.
tried. Let's leave. This game isn't fun.
All right, I'm done. Sorry. I'm done.
No,
Don't worry, your Oscar's in the mail.
He was leaning in, and he was just like flabbergasted. But it wasn't disbelief. It wasn't disbelief at you. It was disbelief at the situation.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's so unbelievable.
Alarming, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very alarming.
If only anyone cared. Oh well.
Yeah,
time to
exactly.
go.
Well, gotta go.
Like, what you notice, you were talking to Zandra, and you were talking to, actually, yeah, can you roll perception?
Ugh.
You were talking to both of them.
Yeah. 10.
Pretty low.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
You notice that they both are, like, there's a surprise, and then there's also a like a confusion. Yeah, that's what you noticed.
Okay.
Okay. Are you leaving the town?
Yeah, but Ruiz is getting the fuck out of here.
Reese is over it.
Sorry, I wasted another 5 minutes.
You didn't waste another 5 minutes. Don't put it like that.
Mm.
Listen, we're playing a game, it's Dungeons and Dragons. There is no wasted time.
Did you just say there's no wasted time in Dungeons and Dragons?
There's no wasted
Not-
time.
I sit down
Watch
on the
enough
ground
Dungeons
and
and
I wait in
Dragons.
real time.
There is no such thing as wasted time.
Yeah.
So you guys leave the town and are on the road. And wait, so where are you going?
Wizard of Wines.
Wizard of Vines.
Let's go
Right.
kill shit.
So
That's
as a
what we need to do.
recap of why we thought it would be good to go over there, we're heading toward the Ulgaius tree. Can you remind me of how that? Ulthias tree, right? It's the really creepy gooey tree. The staff I broke had like gooey tree blood in it, and it was
Yeah.
really bad. But then all the tree people died. But they were also going after the magical gems that are in the soil there that allow the wine to be made. And we got a lead that, well, we already got one of those seeds back.
I think
We got a lead that there's another one over at this Ulthias tree, but also it was way too dangerous at the time. We've come a little ways since then. We think we might be able to handle ourselves.
So like way back when you guys first went to the Wizard of Wines and you came there and there were druids, evil druids running rampant and tree blights.
Rampant.
You met Davian and his entire family, and you and Davian's 2 sons went into the Wizard of Wines. You guys remember this excursion, and you like killed a bunch of druids, and but unfortunately the wine had all been poisoned and was all bad. but you did save the estate and you drove the druids and the tree blights out. You found this staff, which ended up being a Gulthias staff. And as soon as Cain broke the staff, all the tree blights around the estate died, and like it let out a blood-curdling scream, as well as gooey tree blood. And then, and Davian told you the story about how the Wizard of Wines has been dry for weeks now because their magical seed gems had been stolen. And they were sure that one of them had been taken by the druids and taken just south of the Wizard of Wines to Yester Hill, which is a hill that you guys have not visited yet, but supposedly inhabited by druids, as well as an infamous Gulthias tree.
Let's kill it.
All right, so you guys head out onto the road and you follow the old Svolok road down to the winery estate. And of course, we're going to roll a d20 to see if you guys have any encounters along the way. So
Werewolves.
I've had 3 rolls under 4 on that d20. I wouldn't roll it.
under 4 is good for you guys.
Oh,
if I roll
on
low.
this chart? Okay, roll my d20 then.
Is this your d20?
That's a
Oh,
d10.
that's a d12.
Well,
Can you
d12.
pass me the 20, please? Thank you. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Woo.
Oh god, that's gonna be a 20.
Can you read it?
That is 17.
Oh, wow, okay.
Got this, guys. Ramis is like very bloodthirsty right now. Needs to kill some shit.
That's good. It's you know
Lay
what?
off some steam.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are headed down the road, and as you are walking along the old Svolok road, you see a few things out in the woods. You hear some ravens chirping along the way. You hear some squawking.
Oh, good.
Thank you. What was a good raven noise? I don't think I can replicate it.
No, that was so good.
Do a honk.
Oh,
That's so sad.
Sad goose.
he honk.
Oh.
Okay. You hear some calling. And eventually you happen upon
A 17.
A giant 17 crashing
no,
from
I
the
actually
woods.
Beat it down.
yeah, actually
Oh no.
you encounter a couple of scouts along the way.
Oh, boring.
Who are scouting the trail. And you recognize one of them.
As Zoltanovich.
I mean, the brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember the name of a wolf trapper?
Yevgeny.
Mm.
Yeah, Yevgeny.
Guinea.
Yeah, you do remember. You're so good.
Yeah. And
You
Bill.
recognize one as Yevgeny, and he's with two comrades, a man and a woman.
Comrades.
And as you're walking on the trail, he walks up to you, and his comrades like immediately like stand alarm, and Yevgeny is like relax. And he walks up and he says, have not seen you around the tavern for quite a while. He's Russian. Hold on, I got this. Have not seen you around the tavern for quite a while. And he like raises his eyebrow, which by the way, Yevgeny is the very grisly, attractive one. and the other one, Zoldar, who you haven't seen in quite a while. It's like
Not so attractive.
the older, like gruff one. And he says, "Are you hunting out here?"
Uh,
Go for it, Zog. Handle this.
we were actually just out for a drink and thought we'd go to the source.
Out for a drink? Where have you found drinks?
Well, that's the thing. We're hoping to replenish the drinks, so then we could partake in said drink.
You are hoping to replenish the drinks.
All of the drinks.
Well, I am
That's
not a
pretty
man
big,
to
huh?
stand in the way of replenishing drinks.
It is quite an important mission we're on.
He nods. And how exactly do you plan to accomplish that?
Well, it's certainly not going to be with charm and good looks. We could use some help in that department. And he ribs Zug.
Why are you ribbing me?
Well, he's like holding his crossbow kind of like pointed towards the ground, and he like shrugs his shoulders and he says, "Well, if you ever need a paid coin, you know where to find us."
Paid coin?
I do have a question.
Mhm.
Supposedly there's some druids nearby. You wouldn't happen to know anything or seen anything while you're out hunting in the woods, have you?
We have seen some forest folk and some druids out in the woods.
Like the real evil looking ones?
Every
All
once in
thorns?
a while.
What?
Yes, every once in a while we do encounter them.
Well, how do they react to your presence?
Usually they do not bother us if we do not bother them.
All right. There's nothing weird going on in the woods? No
Well,
weird
there's always
bonfires or
something weird going on in the woods.
yeah, that's true. That was a dumb question.
He says, the druids, I mean, I have no idea what's going on with them, but they have not been aggressive towards me. I think that maybe we are helping them by removing the wolves.
You'd think that they, as druids, would have some sort of relationship with the wolves, but what do I know? I'm not a druid.
You certainly
Obviously.
are not. Probably for the best. No?
Have you ever heard of a Gulthias tree?
I have heard of a Gulthias tree.
What do you know?
I know that I avoid any Gulthias tree that I see, which is none. The legend says that the Gulthias tree is death and decay incarnate.
That's pretty ominous.
It is.
Well, we
Does
will-
anyone know where it came from?
Probably a
What?
seed.
A seed?
I don't know. I'm not a druid.
they're like vampiric trees. They're like undead vampire trees or something.
I wouldn't mind measuring its fangs.
Yeah, I am. So I think I can't remember what Kane knows, or what Kane does not know
Mhm.
about the Gulthias tree, or what was learned, like when you broke the staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gulthias
He
tree.
explained Gulthias tree lore at one point, and it tapped into those little creatures, and that it's basically like, yeah, it's like a vampire tree. and it's real nasty.
Mhm.
And anybody who if I were to use that staff you gave me, apparently there would have been like other consequences, things like that.
Yeah, so Gulthias tree is like notoriously it creates like blights from ordinary plants. It's kind of like this it's kind of like a vampire in the way that it eats off of the living, and it kind of creates like undead spawn in the form of blights, which these druids are kind of like running around with these blights and whatnot. And there's no knowledge of like where it came from. But yeah, it's kind of like a symbolic vampiric tree. And Gulthias trees oftentimes have meanings in different societies or cultures. And in this case, you're not entirely sure. But Yevgeny is not intending to run into any Gulthias trees.
Let's just go in blind and fucking slay it, man. What's the worst that could happen?
As long as we have fire, nothing can go wrong.
I mean, we killed a witch in a walking house.
True.
That's true.
Are you guys all saying this like out loud, like talking out loud while like Yevgeny and his comrades are like standing there?
I think Ramesh will just kind of
Yes.
just
We
like,
got a witch in her head, or what?
like
This
Ramesh
is
will,
why
like,
I have a character's voice and my voice, and they're different, so that you don't have to wonder.
Well, I mean, the rest of you are just, you're doing great.
I have a character voice. How friggin' dare you?
Ramesh does have a character voice.
A good character.
Ramesh will chuckle. Ah! Ha! Ha! And like project confidence
With
to,
that face.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
a dead face. Ha! Ha!
We have slain scarier things, I think. We'll let you know how it goes. In fact, drinks on us next time we see you.
Mhm. You know,
Really?
it's
Drinks on Ramesh next time we see you, I guess.
This is fun.
Even me?
No, so no.
he nods towards you and he says, most of this area is cleared out of wolves in case you are going in that direction. And he kind of points to like the eastern side of the road that you're going down. You guys are headed south.
Yevgeny. Sorry, I don't know how to use my accent and say that name at the same
Yevgeny.
Yevgeny. About that service for hire, I'm curious, what do you charge?
100 for the day.
And would you be open to a discount should the result be that we retrieve the stone required to generate more wine for Barovia?
If you want to hire me to help replenish the wine, and it is a successful mission, why yes, 20% off.
Is it talking gold or Strahd bucks?
He's
Yeah.
talking, he said 100.
Yeah, but like 100 gold.
Yeah, 100 what?
Interpretations, go for it.
Pebbles?
Yevgeny, 100 what? Because I have plenty of acorns, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, he laughs. Ha, 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 ha.
Ramesh starts laughing. Ha ha ha.
That would be 100 bitcoins.
Makes me sad.
100 Strahd bucks. Yeah. Yes.
That's more than gold, right? Or slightly less?
No, it's less.
Oh,
We have that many Strahd bucks.
I feel like we could We can spare the Strahd bucks if we think he's.
We can. I think it might actually make sense to.
Can Remise do a quick perception check and like get some basic? What is this dude's stat block?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, does Kane think he could take him 1-on-1?
Kane 100% believes he could take him 1-on-1.
Okay.
This guy is like a beefy human.
He's a civilian.
He's
what,
definitely
though?
stronger than a civilian. Like he's strong, like he can fight, he's got a crossbow, like he's got good aim. But
Back where I come from, we call those distractions.
he's
Okay.
he's not as strong as you guys are.
Well,
He's out here in the woods killing wolves. and
He's
stuff.
not like Esmeralda, who is stronger than all of you.
Where the fuck did Ez go anyway?
She just slipped out into the night.
Just fucking bailed. All right, got it.
I think Remise will put out his hand.
It appears as though we have a deal, Yevgeny. There we go. I nailed it. I got the voice in the name. There you go.
Yeah.
I like Josh's accent.
I'm just a little winded.
He
Yevgeny, where
he
is
furrows his
your...
brow at you right now.
Doesn't look like we're going to, doesn't look like we're going to town first, if that's what you mean. Do you need a pit stop somewhere?
I haven't used any of my arrows so far, so why not? I'll take half now and half later.
Very well. Kane jingles into his robes and pulls out 40 Strahd bucks and holds out his hand expectantly.
He picks it up and like looks at it and assesses it for a moment, determines that that's the right amount, puts it in his pocket.
Let me subtract that from the sheet real quick. Got it.
All right.
Excellent. Well, first, we're heading toward the Wizard of Wines. We're going to alert the Ravenkind there. We may do a bit of scouting with their assistance first. I would imagine you would concur.
I have not visited the Wizard of Wines in quite some time. It would be a nice excursion.
Vinny, where is your, was it your brother? Where's
My
he?
partner. You're
Yes.
talking about Zoldar.
Zoldar, yes, Zoldar.
He's leading a group out on the eastern side today. Just me, I'm afraid.
You seem quite capable. I'm not afraid at all.
I am quite capable. Thank you for noticing.
Well, shall we be on our way?
Lead the way.
And we just
You
keep
guys all
going down the
hold
road.
Can we
hands
fast
and
forward
you
time?
step and you link arms together and you trot down the road.
Somehow I don't see Yevgeny linking arms, but
Is this road like,
sure.
bricked and yellow?
Yeah.
And you are following it. And you are off to see the Wizard of Wines.
The wonderful Wizard of Wines.
Oh, come on, so good. So eventually, after some short travels, you make your way to the Wizard of Wines estate, where you see the tiniest of little splashlings coming up from the vineyard. It's magical. The soil that's covering this plot of land looks very fertile, and there are a few sprouts that are linked up along some wine posts that are starting to make their way above ground.
Kane points it out to Yevgeny. He says, "There, you see that? We're starting to reap the fruits of our labor." And he looks over at Zug.
Well, there you go. Indeed.
I'm gonna poke a sprout and just whisper, "Grow faster."
Great.
Wine already.
So again, the road eventually, as you approach, becomes a muddy trail, and descends gradually, and eventually you guys make it to the vineyard estate and the actual estate. there is a beautiful building, and it's looking a lot cleaner and nicer since the last time that you looked, or since the last time you were there. And you notice a couple of little children running around the property, chasing each other, presumably playing tag or some shit like that. And
Who gives a shit? Some kid shit.
yeah. So there are 3 little tiny children who are playing. You've seen them before, and they are running around the property. 2 little boys and a little girl playing with each other. Eventually, in the middle of the vineyard, you see the beautiful winery, thick ivy covering all the walls, and you head towards the entrance. And as you are heading there, you see a raven swoops overhead as you are walking along the trail, and lands on the porch and transforms in front of your eyes. And this is Elvir, who you've met a couple times, and he was trapped in Baba Lysaga's cage before you freed him.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
How
And
does he look?
he looks fine. And
He's the one that took the stone back, right?
he did,
Yeah.
and he transforms into his human form, and it's really fucking disgusting. Yeah, exactly.
transformation, or
Yeah,
is-
the transformation is gross.
I thought
Like
you were
the
saying
feathers,
Stephen Hawking.
like the feathers, like rescind into his body, and he like becomes a human, and he's naked. It's like really exactly as gross as you can imagine. And
Must be painful.
do you say that?
That looks painful.
So so you say that looks painful, and as he's like transforming, he's like, it's a little painful. Yeah, it is, just a little bit. And he like swats away at his face a little bit, and like pats away at his hips,
You gotta
like
think about it.
realizes he's naked, and he's like, oh, and he like grabs a little cloak from on the porch step and like puts it over himself. Ah, good to see ya. Well, you'll notice, and he points over to the fertile land. It's back. Look what you did. You made this happen.
Yes, we did.
So it is nothing but natural care and wonderful fermentation processes.
The dude.
Dude, he's here now.
Yeah,
What fucking time is it?
7:13.
Jesus fuck. Okay, I'll take care of it.
Hello. I'm back. So you guys said something about the land being fertile without your tender care. And he says, would you like to come inside? Please come inside.
Of course.
Yeah, all right.
Answers you all. And inside, in the big wine room, you can see Adrian, the other brother who you fought in the winery with, is cleaning out the giant casks that had poisoned wine in them. And he's standing atop the top like rafters and balcony, and he's like cleaning out these giant steel vats. And he looks down, he sees all of you come in, he says, ah, our friends are here. To what do we owe the pleasure? And he like starts climbing down the staircase to greet you all.
We are on our way to find another one of the stones. Figured we'd come by and see how things are. Perhaps do a little bit of pre-journey strategy. What do you think, Zug?
We're gonna go kill some druids.
You see both of their
Maybe burn
faces.
a tree down.
Both of their faces go like sullen. and stoic.
Did I say something?
We so as they're like trying to express what they need to say, you see Davian come in the room, and he walks in after like hearing some of the racket, and he looks at you all, and he's got like a kind of look of concern, but also like happy to see you, but also like a little concerned to see you look. And Elvir says, you want to go to Yester Hill?
Yes, that is the name. Yes.
Today
Well-
or tomorrow, though. Not yesterday.
He says, it's very important that you be prepared for what you will find there.
A vampire tree and a bunch of evil druids, I imagine. Perhaps some of those blight tree monsters.
Maybe some poison ivy.
Yes, that was good, Zug. Yes.
Well, we have not gotten close after
The
and
incident.
Davian chimes in. He says, my son-in-law did not return from a scouting mission to Yester Hill
Oh shit! When was this?
just a couple weeks ago. I sent my sons and my son-in-law each on a scouting mission to maybe locate our seeds. Lucky for us, you found Elvir, and you were able to return him to us with one of the seeds. Adrian came back unscathed, but I have not seen Dag in several weeks. We don't know what happened to him, and he was meant to go to Yester Hill.
Do you like your son-in-law?
I do like my son-in-law.
Oh, okay, that's fortunate. Unfortunate that you haven't seen him, but you know, good thing you like him.
His charisma didn't go up, his intelligence went up.
Yeah, he's wearing a crown of intelligence.
Yeah. That's pretty clear, yeah. Since then I've sent Adrian and Elvir nearby, but I don't want anyone getting too close. And then Elvir says, we know what is there, but there are things that are maybe in hiding. I've seen druids. I've seen men covered in mud. There is a Gulthias tree there. I dare not get close to that. There is also a statue. And there is the wall.
The wall.
X new.
It is a wall of mist. It is where Barovia ends, is what I've been told.
Yes, we are familiar with this wall of mist. It's what keeps us here.
This wall is different. It is said that those who enter the wall do not return.
Well, I wouldn't think so. They probably wanted to leave for good.
In most areas of Barovia, if you try to leave, you are just teleported back. This is different.
Do you believe your son-in-law may have crossed this wall?
I don't think he would have willingly. I think it's more possible that he was shot down by one of the hostiles there.
Hmm.
Or maybe being held captive.
Well, I know you are apprehensive about others approaching, but we're on our way there, so we'll keep an eye out for your son-in-law.
Well, if there's anyone that can handle it, it's probably you guys. Elvier told us about what happened in Berez. You guys can probably handle it. Just be careful.
If you don't hear from us in a couple weeks, send another group.
Preferably a stronger one than us.
Yes.
Don't know a lot of groups around here that are stronger than you all.
You better start looking right now then.
Well, if Yenny here doesn't make it, then there'll be more wolves in the forest. Perhaps you can go gather a few of them.
Evgeny like looks at you like,
Nudges him in the ribs.
what the hell is this guy talking about?
Yenny's not the
We'll be
smartest
fine.
bulb on the branch, is he?
You will most definitely not die on this mission. Yevgeny.
Well, would you all like to stay here for the night before you venture out, or are you heading out now?
What time
What
is it?
time is it?
Probably mid-afternoon.
Let's head out.
It's so early.
Yeah, let's go.
Just down the road, right?
Right down the road.
It's probably like an hour plus trek, maybe 2 hours trek. And it's probably like 3 to 4 now,
What time does the sun set?
Mm.
probably around 7.
That's plenty of time.
Okay. Is it? Is it plenty of time?
Yeah, I mean, I can't quantify plenty, but I'm sure it's enough.
Can't say I have no way to tell you, but I can say I'm sure.
It will most likely get dark on you guys if you go out now.
Don't we all have like dark?
So you can't see shit in the dark, can you?
But I think
A half orc, I can see half as well.
Well, I
think
can't see
dark.
shit.
you're the only one, Ken.
You dumb human.
Well, that's okay. If it gets dark, I'll just go take a break in the old hut.
How are you gonna find your hut when it's so dark out?
I get to summon it out of thin air, Zug.
Yeah, but what happens if I throw a cloth over it?
And then there'll be a cloth over it while I'm inside. Are you still wearing your crown?
It's a headband. Maybe you should have your eyes checked.
Is Yevgeny? Is he human?
Yeah,
Shit.
but
I'll be right back.
We have torches. We have ways of seeing in the dark. It's fine.
Evgeny's like looking around at you all like you're talking, crossing his arms. They are offering you a place to stay.
Yevgeny, you are looking for another day's pay. We've hired you for today. Let's go today.
If the lodging tonight is free, I am happy to do this tomorrow. And he like looks at the
You know what, Viviani, you've got me convinced.
family, and they're all like nodding, like, yeah, you can stay here.
Maybe Zug should go ahead of us and make sure that it's not too dangerous.
I don't hunt in the night.
Yeah, that would be quite foolish, wouldn't it?
It would be quite foolish.
Agreed.
And so as you guys are talking and Yevgeny has clearly made the decision that they're staying here tonight. He walks up to Adrian and he says, "So is there anything that you have ready in there yet?" Adrian's like, "Well, not exactly. We have crushed grapes that are just barely starting to be ready, but they're very small and they're probably very tart." He says, "Pour the glass." And Dave and Adrian says, "Well, all right." And he like walks up and he like gets like a little tiny bit of like greenish, like greenish juice. It still has like tendrils in it.
Tetris.
Gross.
And Kenny drinks it, swishes it, and says, I want to say that I like that, but
Good things come to those who wait. We slap him back.
You are right, my friend. I shall wait longer. And with that, the Martikovs invite you to stay for dinner, and give you each your own room in the estate to stay in.
Wow.
There are you? 4 or 5?
Wow.
No, 2 people are gonna have to stay in the same room.
Evgeny and Zug.
The NPC and the PC is on here.
The NPC and the other NPC.
Love it.
Actually, why don't we just make Evgeny like sleep on like the floor or something?
What? Why? No. Why?
What? He's like he's hired late. What?
All
Why are you
right.
being so nice to him?
Yevgeny, I'm sorry, but our compatriot here seems to believe that you should sleep on the floor.
Why should I sleep on the floor when there are enough beds?
That is what I said.
He looks at Gramise. Really weird.
No, what's weird is that you feel you deserve bed.
What the?
The hospitality you have received is for our kind deed, not yours, Yevgeny. You drink their wine, you sleep on their beds. What have you done for this family?
I'm sorry, Yevgeny. His nickname is the Golden. As you can imagine, there's an attitude that
I'm
comes
saying,
along
if you
with
are
such a
able to
name.
sleep at night without having done anything to deserve this, then, be my guest.
Flash forward to like tomorrow and everyone's down and Ramis has like one more death saving throw and Yevgeny is still up and he just looks at Ramis and just shakes his head.
No,
Lets him go.
it's gonna be everyone is dead, and I have to cast like preserve life. on Yevgeny.
What makes you think you are deserving of rescue?
Oh. If it comes to that, I deserve to die.
He shrugs his shoulders and he says, "I've slept on many floors before."
Yevgeny, I'm kidding, my friend. Jesus, go sleep wherever you like.
I do not understand this brand of humor.
Oh, it is called sarcasm. I'm sorry. We are in Barovia, where there is zero humor whatsoever. You are correct.
Okay,
But you may not sleep with me.
why would I sleep with you?
Exactly. And I like go to my bedroom.
Did we
Go
pass
over.
time enough to go to bed?
You guys went to bed.
I don't know. There's nothing else to do.
Yevgeny and Zug are sleeping in the same room.
All right.
You on a tiny bed and him also on a tiny bed.
I'm on the floor.
If we put the tiny beds together, we'll have like a bigger bed.
Then you guys could spoon.
Mm-hmm.
You want to spoon Yevgeny?
How tall is he? Is he big spoon or little spoon?
Not as tall as you.
He's not a half orc.
Oh. I think I'm only like 6 foot, aren't I?
I think you're like 7 feet.
Can't believe I'm looking at my heights to see if I can spoon. I am 7 foot. Okay, I'll big spoon.
You're a big spoon.
Yeah, you're like pretty big.
If there ever was a big spoon. You're it.
You know, if we
Like
sleep back to
5'9".
back, that's like a inverted spooning. Have you ever tried to eat with
Yevgeny
like
is not interested in
Oh.
spooning with you
Uh,
and will
It's-
resist.
but it's so cold out.
It's not that cold in here. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, but
It's like 65. It's
August
freezing.
it gets cold.
Look,
All right, you
Ramesh
guys
has
go to
his hood
bed.
up.
Y'all wake up the next day. Yevgeny and Zug secretly spooned last night, but nobody knows but them.
Yeah.
Am I
Either
inspired?
Well, is he gonna give us a discount? Because he's enjoying our company a little more than
We get another 5%.
yeah.
you owe him 5% more.
Can I say that Kane spent some time in the evening before bed studying up on Gulthias trees in his notes?
Yeah, where would you be studying Gulthias trees?
In my notes about Gulthias trees.
You
Which
have
I
notes
took.
about Gulthias trees?
I mean, I have a knowledge stat. You tell me, DM.
If you'd like, you can do a couple of different, you could do one of a few things. You could ask the keepers and maybe talk to them about the Gulthias tree. You could look for a book that might mention a Gulthias tree. Or we can try to just do like an innate knowledge roll to see what you might recall or remember about Gulthias trees.
I remember doing that and getting a bunch of information that I thought I wrote down here in the sheet, but I don't see anything about. In fact, the sheet is pretty sparse, to be honest with you. My note-taking skills were pretty weak back then.
That's okay. I mean, things happen.
All I know is that Yevgeny was younger and ruggedly handsome, younger than Zoldar, who was a bald, bearded hunter. Those are my notes on those.
He
two.
is a bald beard. That's correct. He's bald and bearded.
Yep, that's what I know about him.
Okay. So let's see. Okay. So let me see what I can tell you about a Gulthias tree. And yeah, I mean, you also, I feel like, here's what I want to do. I would love for you to ask one of the Mardikovs if they have a book about Gulthias trees.
Okay.
And instead of giving you a book, Elder is going to sit you down and he's going to be like, there is a legend that tells of a vampire named Gulthias. And he worked terrible magic. And he raised up an abominable tower called Nightfang's Spire. The vampire Gulthias was eventually undone when a hero plunged a wooden stake through his heart. But as the vampire was destroyed, his blood infused the stake with a dreadful power. In time, tendrils of new growth sprouted from the wood, growing into a sapling infused with the vampire's evil essence. And it is said that a mad druid discovered the sapling and transplanted it into an underground grotto where it could grow. And from this Gulthias tree came the seeds from which the first blights were sown. Gulthias trees are innately vampiric, and they regenerate just like vampires do. This means that unless they are completely uprooted from the ground, they will regrow and regenerate. They also are very, very strong. It would be very, very hard to take a Gulthias tree down while it is trying to take you down.
It sounds like we don't have to take it down. Sounds like we have to pick it up.
Perhaps. I have never heard of a successful uprooting of a Gulthias tree.
Yes. I seem to not quite have a spell to do such a thing, I'm afraid.
Be wary. The Gulthias tree is sentient. It is alive. And it does not wish to die.
I don't like this tree. It's already giving me anxiety.
Faces, everybody.
Boy.
Oh, good boy, Ace. That dude should be showing up at your house soon. Do you need to stop D&D when he gets there?
We may need to take a pause.
Okay.
We'll play till he gets here.
Okay.
So that's what you know about the Gulthias tree. And then you go to bed. And everyone wakes up in the morning. And is feeling refreshed. And you guys feel extra good because you slept in some nice beds this evening with a warm, cozy company of a lovely family of were-ravens. Okay. And so y'all suit up and head out for the day on your excursion to Yester Hill. So you make your way out onto the trail and you head south for a little while, walking down the trail for let's say about 2 hours or so, just shy of 2 hours. Is about how long it takes for you guys to get there. And as you are headed down the hill, the trail through the very thick woods leads to a giant hill covered in dead grass and cairns of black rock all around in rings. You look up and you see dark, ominous clouds gathering high above the hill. And as you are all observing the lay of the land around you, a single intense bolt of lightning strikes right at the hilltop. And you look to the west. So you guys are coming in from the south. So you look west, which is to your right, and you see the land, the woods, and the sky completely vanish behind a towering wall of fog. You've never seen anything like this. And right in front of you, the trail splits as it climbs up the hillsides, forming two sort of what look like concentric rings. And the trail also leads up the hilltop. And you can sort of see the trail leading up the hill to the peak. You can't entirely see what's at the peak. You can see that lightning hit the top of the peak, but you can't completely see everything that's up there. There are some like rocky looking things at the top of the hill.
We should go to the top of the hill.
Spooky. Do we see any like blighty stuff? You know, like tree people that don't look happy to see us?
You don't see any life yet, but what you do see is, so there are these dirt trails that are running around the sides of the hills through like the dead grass, and there are cairns that are encircling the hillside, and each of these cairns is like 10 feet high, so pretty tall, and each of them is like a mound of slimy black rocks, and there are tons of them.
That's not good.
Somebody could slip and fall on those.
Yeah. Someone could slip and fall. And as you're approaching, Yevgeny like walks forward under the dirt trail. He like takes a few steps out to like observe one of these cairns and looks up at it. He looks back to you guys and he's like, that is disgusting.
Not so much if you
Afraid,
squint your eyes.
I fear that it's not the most disgusting thing we'll see here in short order.
It is quite interesting that the woods are all so green and so lush, and this hill is so dead.
Would probably be the Guthias tree.
Yes, the tree has vampiric properties. I'm sure it's got quite a negative effect on the nearby land.
So you guys want to go towards the Gulthias tree.
Well, we need to deal with it.
Ideally in a straight line.
Just so we are clear, I do not intend to lose my life over this.
I don't believe that's any of our goal, Yevgeny.
Yeah, you'd feel awfully silly if you lost your life for what, 80 Strahd bucks?
Technically, he's only gotten 40 so far.
Oh, even worse.
I am starting to reconsider my pay.
Hey, we have a contract. If you break this contract, you have to pay 1.2 times the gold that we already gave you.
Yevgeny, did you sleep with Zug? Did you enter into the contract?
Did you consecrate this deal?
We sealed the deal.
Oh shit.
Cool. So that is what has happened
Yep.
so far.
We proceed.
Are we going up the hill?
I mean, it's Yester Hill, right? We gotta go
Yeah.
up the hill.
Yeah. I think we'd have a better vantage point up there.
Maybe if we climb this giant dead tree, we'll be able to see.
Turns out the hill was the tree all along.
Okay, so you guys want to head up the hill.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking so.
All right. As you guys are beginning to climb the hill, there is Zug hears a voice inside of his head.
Shit.
Ooh.
And
Which one? Be more specific.
he hears you hear a whisper, Zug, a deep voice carried
Loud.
on the wind. I can't do a deep voice. I'm gonna try. Long have I waited, it says, for one who is worthy. My spear hungers for blood. Retrieve it and rule these mountains in my stead, just like the mighty warriors from the early days of the Whispering Wall. And
Who is that?
in addition to like
somebody say
hearing
something?
this whispering deep voice in your brain, you feel suddenly like pulled in a direction, not physically, like emotionally. You feel drawn towards a specific cairn on the western side of the hill.
Is it like perpendicular to the way we're traveling? Because I assume we're going up the hill and
You're
it's
going
like
up, so yeah,
vertical.
it's like going to be around on one of the dirt trails that goes around, and you're feeling suddenly compelled and drawn towards it.
I'm gonna turn around and ask if anybody said something. Can any of you guys say something?
What?
There was someone said something about a spear. Was that you?
No.
Oh, so,
Let's proceed. Let's go up the hill.
I don't think that's foreboding at all. Let's continue.
I'll be right back.
Look, where are you going? Yevgeny is extremely expensive.
He's not on an hourly basis.
No, he's on a daily basis, which is like an hourly basis if you extrapolate.
You go ahead. I'll catch up. I need to leave. I need to use the little orcs room.
Fine. Don't worry, Yevgeny. He doesn't do very much damage anyway.
So is the group going to proceed upwards while Zug heads around the side of the hill?
But maybe we walk up a little bit to give him some privacy, and then I'll send my owl. I did end up naming her not Hudacris, but I thought that was funny. But Ophelia. I'm going to let Ophelia fly up above and take a look.
Does this owl have like an identity crisis right now because of her changing name all the time?
My Hudacris name was a funny joke in a reference to Ashley. Shout out to Ashley.
All right, so Zug continues along the side, like takes a trail out around the hill while the rest of the group like starts to head up, and Ophelia is going to like fly over and kind of observe. So Zug starts to walk around the side of the hill, and you feel drawn to one of the cairns on the hillside. You walk a ways. By the way, this hill is humongous. It's like, gosh, I don't know, like a 1,000 yards, like maybe larger. Oh, I think our thing is here.
Oh,
That's okay. We're gonna do fine. And I'll finish this bit and then we can call it here. And Zug starts to walk around the hill, trumping on the dead grass, and eventually, you feel the sort of aura pulsating off of one of these cairns after you travel a couple football fields of length. And you feel the presence of magic under the rocks, calling and reaching out to you.
I'll start shoving the rocks aside. I mean, what could go wrong digging in somebody's grave?
Yeah, so the rocks of the cairn are very heavy, so I'm gonna need a strength check for you to try to like move them over.
If I had some sort of like a pole or something to leverage these rocks. Strength. 3. No, 5
3?
total. 5 total.
5?
Yes.
All right, so you begin to try to roll the rocks aside, and as you like push one of the rocks, it instead falls towards you and lands right next to your foot, almost crushing your foot in the process.
Oof.
But it does fall down. There's a couple more. Do you want to keep pushing?
Yeah.
Okay, you can push. After a very long time,
but not that smart.
Also, the owl is seeing Zug do this and Kane can see through the eyes that Zug is just literally pushing over rocks at this one cairn.
I'm digging a latrine. Don't worry about it.
Doug, you need some help over there.
I
Need
mean,
some help from a frail old man, perhaps.
do you have any spare scrolls of parchment?
No.
Well, then you
They're
can't
for
help me.
writing, not for rolling doobies. I
After
hope someone gets that reference, not just me.
I don't, but I like that you said tubies.
So after a little while, you're able to finally get all the rocks aside, and you see a bunch of moldy bones lying beneath the rocks. And next to the moldy bones is a spear pulsing with magical energy. There's a cat heaving right now. My house is just madness right now, you guys.
You want to just call it now and leave us on a cliffhanger
Yeah,
Yes.
we can.
or on a hill clinger?
Let's leave you on a cliff, on a hill hanger. Yeah, there it is. And you find a blood spear.
What's that?
It is a magical weapon.
Ooh.
Finally.
And
You
I'm
put away
going to
whatever
send
that
you the
shitty
details.
sword is.
I'll send you the details in Discord, but it is a magical weapon. And anyone can wield the weapon. Any character is allowed to wield the weapon, but only Zug will gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon.
+2?
Well.
That's huge.
You do need to attune to it before you can use it.
I'll sleep with it, sure.
And we will end there with Zug finding a moldy bones and a magical spear.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. And we'll resume next time.
Hey.
Okay, but before we go,
Excited?
just to recap what you guys did and what you guys are doing. You guys attempted to remedy the political situation in Kresk without a ton of success, but you did plant some seeds of rebellion.
Good thing they weren't Gulthias seeds. That would have really sucked.
Yeah, that would have been rough. You picked up Yevgeny as a little extra spice to your little traveling group. And you guys met up with the druids who gave you some information about Yester Hill, Gulthias tree. You all set out in the morning to go to Yester Hill. You're looking for a seed, presumably. Expecting to maybe run into some druids.
We've
We'll
seen
see.
one too, so we kind of know what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You kind of know what it looks like, yeah. Great. And next time, I'm guessing you guys are planning on searching and discovering and dungeon crawling around Yester Hill.
Looting and raiding,
Yeah.
yes.
Great.
Pillaging.
Perfect.
Mhm.
That makes my life super easy, and I get to plant all the little metaphorical and literal seeds of chaos.
Fun.
All right.